Martin, it's so great to have you with us today.
Thank you.
To hear what exciting things God is doing through your life. Just tell us, who is Martin Bravenboer and what are you doing?
Well, my name is Martin, and I am a worship pastor, worship leader at a church, Doxa Deo, Brooklyn in Pretoria. And so, I've got a beautiful wife. We've been married for about 13 years now, and we've got two lovely daughters. And I love ministry.
How many years have you been doing it?
On and off since 1995.
Really? Experienced man.
Well, it would seem so.
It would seem so. Now, Martin, you've been doing ministry, worship-related for many years, but over the last few years, or months actually more, you've been doing something else regarding marriages, which I was surprised when I heard that you were doing it, in a kind of different way, close to who you are, but different to what people are used to. Maybe just tell us, what are you doing with married couples?
I just had this deep desire to actually take my wife along with to do something like that. We love the outdoors, we love being outside, we love the mountains. And somebody told me, why don't we do this, a marriage investment weekend, combine it with hiking, so it sounds like some weird sport that somebody thought out. So we just sat down and thought, what would we want to hear for ourselves, for our marriage? And so we thought of different topics, and we wrote them down, and we thought of a program, and we took a few couples with. It's a small group that we're taking, not a lot of couples, otherwise you lose the dynamics. And so we take them into the mountains, and we do this marriage investment weekend.
Okay, but hang on. Take them into the mountains. What does that mean? Just quantify. Take them into the mountains.
So instead of, there's no Sherpa taking your backpack up into the mountain, or somebody, cooking your food for you.
Okay.
So the first part of this weekend involves you, as a couple, taking backpacks, your tent, sleeping bags, your food. We give it to you, your food. You take everything you want through the weekend, and you have to carry it as a couple. And it's quite a long distance. Okay. And so we do this different sessions throughout the weekend, where sometimes they walk as a couple together just by themselves, or we take the whole group and we just have a lovely time and just discuss different things. So it's quite a roughing it experience. The first 2 nights, you start at night, hiking into the mountain with the moonlight, for lighting.
Beautiful.
And that's pretty much it. But the nice thing about it is there's no cell phone reception.
The nice thing about it.
The nice thing about this. I know for some people this is difficult, but
how do people respond to that reality?
They actually welcome it, because we are in such a busy lifestyle with the kids, the business, the bills to pay, work, everything school, everything that has to happen. It's actually quite difficult for a married couple to take 2 or 3 days and just focus on themselves on their marriage. But then there's no luxury, so it's always funny to see the ladies respond when I tell them there's no bathrooms. I mean, you can imagine there's no nice bathroom up in the mountains. There's nothing. So that's quite a shock to their system. For them to have to put up their own tents and cook their own food in that regard, it's quite difficult. But they really responded well, they love it, and it's the first part of the weekend is really nice. And then we bring them off the mountain, and we go to the Didima Lodge in KZN, and it's a lovely, nice lodge. They get their nice showers. They appreciate these little things that we take for granted every day. But then we have this huge feast on a deck next to this river, and we braai some rump for them. And it's really a nice setting. And we just have a discussion on them telling their story of, because every marriage has a unique story. And it's wonderful to hear that. And one of the dynamics that we opt for in this process is taking married couples that have been married for different periods of time. And just to see that dynamic play into each other's lives, and the wisdom from the one couple going into the other, and just to see how they interact with each other is wonderful.
But on that, I mean, I get the setting gets people to struggle together, and then a place where they can have conversation. But the value of marriages, why did you guys specifically feel that? I mean, you and your wife could have gone on your own, but just seeing the significance as someone who's pastoring in a church, why marriages specifically?
Well, first of all, we see the aftermath of destructive marriages every day in our society, and we see the destruction it has on kids, in schools. We see the destruction that it actually has even to the level of people's business and how they function at work. And so we really have a passion for relationships and for marriages. And because a marriage is the cornerstone of society.
Yeah.
If you have a healthy, functioning marriage, it will affect everything after that in your life.
The people that have gone, you've invited to be part of that weekend. Have you had people comment on, what were the things that, because I think everybody wants a healthy marriage and wants people in their lives to have healthy marriages. Kids want it most of all.
Yes.
But it's always great to see the investment having some return. I guess most of the couples, or some of them you've known, what kind of change have you seen in their lives, or what kind of comments do you get from that weekend that you've had so far?
I think they give us some feedback, and it's been great so far. I think the one thing that stands out is the investment that they put to focus on each other. That's why I said earlier, I think that's something that couples don't do anymore. You might go on a date night, but you're still on your cell phone. You're still checking Facebook on the side or getting a WhatsApp message.
Or checking if the kids are okay at home.
Kids are okay at home. But to take the time to invest just on each other and to look at the frustrations maybe in marriage, to look at our passions and to look at our dreams. That what are we dreaming for the future? It's giving them new hope for their marriage. It's giving them hope for a future together. And to see that and to see how they interact after the weekend is great. And to hear the stories come back is wonderful.
I think it's such a powerful thing. The more we engage with what the Bible says about marriages, that it's Christ's love for the church and the church honoring and loving Christ, and that should be displayed with husband and wife loving each other.
Exactly.
Hence the onslaught on marriages. And that's why we call it the cornerstone of society. And I think it's amazing how you guys actually invest in that. And I want to encourage you. It's great, Martin, to hear what you guys have been doing. For you and Yanni, and we trust that transformation will happen in families and as a result of families, businesses, society, the city we live in, because we know where God is the center of a marriage, there's wholeness and there's life. So good luck with that. Thank you for the time, and thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thanks.